Alright, so getting started, I already did my foundation, my eye makeup, and both of my eyebrows, but the only difference is for the eyebrow that is going to be underneath the slash marks, I went ahead and blocked out my brow first, and then drew my eyebrow back on over that, just so that if any of the liquid latex gets over my eyebrow, it will not pull out all my eyebrow hairs. I just did it as an extra safety precaution, but it's absolutely not a necessary step if you do not feel like doing that. Just be careful working with liquid latex around any of your hair. So let's do a quick rundown of the things you will need to complete this look. Makeup in a light red, a dark red, and black. You can use cream makeup, which is what I used, or you could use water activated paints, alcohol activated paints. You could even use like lipstick, eyeshadow, just use whatever you have. Then you'll need liquid latex, which you can buy at Halloween stores, Party City, Amazon, anywhere really online. Translucent setting powder, concealer or foundation. I used the Kat Von D Lock-It concealer in the shade L3 Warm. But really you can use anything that you have as long as it is the same color as your face. Fake blood, this can be scab blood, blood gel, liquid blood, whatever kind of blood you want is what you can use. I used a mixture of scab blood and liquid blood. An angled brush, Q-tips, ripped up toilet paper, and a whiteout contact. I'll leave the link for where I got my whiteout contact in the description below. So I'm starting by using an angled brush with some light red cream paint on it to just kind of map out where I want these scratches to be. I'm just doing a really light pass first just to get a general idea, so that way if I make any mistakes it'll be super easy to clean it up. Also, if you're not sure where to put the scratches, you can always look up a reference picture to use. I have just done this look multiple times now, so I just kind of had a general idea of where I wanted to place the scratches. Once I was happy with the placement of everything, I just went ahead and took the same light red cream paint and darkened all of the scratches. And then just taking some liquid latex and going around the edges of each of the cuts. I'm just putting this down as a base layer before I start building it up with toilet paper, just because I feel like it makes it a lot easier to blend all of the edges when there's a base layer of liquid latex down first. So once that first layer has dried, I'm just going back over and adding another layer, but this time adding a piece of ripped up toilet paper over top, and then covering that in another layer of liquid latex to build up all of the edges. Also, I'm just using a Q-tip to apply the liquid latex. It did come with like a little brush applicator thing, but it just became too difficult to work with, and a Q-tip just honestly makes it a lot easier. I'm also just using my fingers to blend out all of the edges and just kind of mold the toilet paper into the shape that I want it. You definitely could do this look with like cotton balls and liquid latex. I know that is a super popular method for beginner SFX makeup artists. Personally, I just don't really like using cotton balls. I just feel like I have way more control using toilet paper. I just feel like I get a way better result. So once all of that is dry, I'm just taking some translucent setting powder on a big fluffy brush and just setting all of that to take away any shine or any stickiness. Next, to start blending that into my skin, I'm using my Kat Von D Lock-It concealer in the shade L3 Warm, and just dotting that all over the liquid latex and using a flat buffing brush to blend all of that out. I'm also just going over that with my Real Technique sponge just to make sure it is all super blended. Also, I went a little ham with the concealer, so it did end up covering a lot of the work we did earlier, so I'm just going back in with that light red cream color at first and just redefining all of the areas that are the deepest part of the wounds on my face. I'm then taking that same light red cream color on a large fluffy brush and just stippling that all over my face around all of the wounds to start creating some irritation and some texture. Also, the paint job is really what sells this whole look, so make sure that you are not just rushing through this, because all of the little steps that might seem like not that big of a deal really do end up tying the whole look together. Like right now, I'm just adding a tiny bit of black to the insides of all of the cuts, which doesn't really seem like it would do much, but once I go over it with all of the dark red, it really does end up adding a lot of depth. And that is the next step, just going in with some dark red cream paint and just filling in all of the gaps and blending it in with that black. I'm also just taking any extra that is on the brush and just kind of dabbing it around each wound, just giving it more texture and dimension. I'm then just using the large fluffy brush again to just stipple over everything and just add a little bit of extra texture. And now it is time for my very favorite part of any SFX gore look, and that is the fake blood. I'm first going in with some scab blood that I got from the Halloween store and just laying that in all of the cuts. Then once that has had time to set, I am going over that with some DIY blood that I made at home just using corn syrup and then blue and red food coloring. And I really like that because it gives it that wet, like fresh cut look that I think just pulls the entire look together. And I mean, that is pretty much it. That is like the end of the tutorial. Just keep adding blood until you feel that there is enough. You can also add an SFX whiteout contact for some extra spook points like I did. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial. Hopefully you guys liked the awesome intro that me and Clinton put together. I really do have to give him like all of the credit for that though, just because he is the one that filmed and edited all of it, and he is incredibly talented. So if you guys want to see more of the things that he creates, I will link all of his social media in the description below if you'd like to go follow him. He is a wonderful human being and I love him with my whole heart. And as always, stay rad. I love you guys. Bye.